Today I'm going to be talking about why moral relativism fails. First, let's try to understand what moral relativism is. At a basic level, moral relativism can be defined as a belief that rejects realism, or as the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy says, the truth or falsity of moral judgment or their justification is not absolute or universal, but is relative to the traditions, convictions, or practices of a group. Some examples of moral relativism are moral relativists reject the concept of objective truth. Instead, they emphasize culture and society as the determining factors of wrong and right. What is bad for one person might be good for another. For example, stealing is not always wrong. It depends on the perception of the individual. A thief might rob a bank because he is in need of money. To the bank and to the people who are customers of the bank, this action is intrinsically evil. While to the thief, he did a good deed because he will now have the means to provide for himself and for his family. But here's why moral relativism does not work. Point number one, moral relativism provides negative societal outcomes. You see, in a world where objective truth is absent, chaos will thrive. If we cannot conclude that there are actions that are in nature evil, then there is no need for consequences. Ergo, murder, SA, genocide, stealing, etc., are not inherently evil, so they do not require punishment, due to the nature of these actions being subject to the perception of the individual. Point number two, moral relativism eliminates the laws of nature and the natural law. The natural law, as Aristotle puts it, is natural things consistently act in regular ways. Their actions tend towards specific outcomes. Therefore, they are directed towards ends of purposes. For example, eyes are for seeing, the nose is for smelling, and bees gather nectar and pollinate plants. These are all objective truths. And point number three, moral relativism is self-refuting. The argument of self-refutation is one that attacks primarily the way the relativists present their arguments. For instance, a relativist will say, there are no objective truth, or truth is dependent on the individual perception. However, those claims in themselves are truth claims. In other words, they suggest that it is a universal truth that there are no universal truths. The argument self-refutes itself by making a truth claim. The reality is that humans are naturally rational creatures who seek truth. Some end that journey when caught in confusion or difficult scenarios, and they fallaciously decide that truth is dependent on personal opinions. Without realizing it, the fact that we are in need of consistently seeking out the truth is evidence that there are objective truths that are independent from human experience or thought. Before I go, I want to thank everyone who took the time to watch this video. I hope it was of edification, and if you have any thoughts, please feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. Thank you, and God bless.